7 minutes. That's all it took for a college student to vanish completely. In this episode of Vanished, we investigate one of the most debated cold case mysteries in American history, the Maura Murray disappearance. A missing college student, a wrecked car, a New Hampshire cold case with no body, no crime scene, and no answers. Last episode, we explored how a British diplomat vanished before witnesses during the Napoleonic Wars. Tonight, we're in the White Mountains, where an unsolved disappearance has haunted investigators and the public for over 2 decades. Her car was still warm when police arrived, but Maura Murray was already gone. Maura Murray was 21 years old. Born on May 4, 1982, in Brockton, Massachusetts, she was the kind of person who excelled at everything she tried. She was a standout distance runner in high school, talented enough to earn a scholarship to the United States Military Academy at West Point. Maura attended West Point for a year before transferring to the University of Massachusetts Amherst, where she was studying nursing. Her family described her as driven, intelligent, and independent. Her father, Fred Murray, was a devoted presence in her life. The two had a close relationship. But in the days before she disappeared, something seemed wrong. On February 5, 2004, Maura was working a campus security shift when she became visibly upset after receiving a phone call. A supervisor had to escort her back to her dormitory. The source of her distress has never been publicly confirmed. The following day, she had a minor car accident in her father's new Toyota, damaging it significantly. The circumstances around that crash remain murky. By the 9th of February, just days later, Maura made a series of decisions that have puzzled investigators ever since. On the afternoon of February 9, 2004, Maura Murray appeared to be preparing to leave town. She emailed professors and her employer, claiming there had been a death in the family. According to investigators, this was not true. No family member had died. She searched online for directions to the Berkshires and rental properties in Vermont. She packed her belongings into her black 1996 Saturn, including textbooks, toiletries, clothing, and a significant amount of alcohol she had purchased that afternoon. She also brought printed directions for travel through northern New England. At approximately 7:27 p.m., her car was involved in a single-vehicle accident on Route 112 in Haverhill, New Hampshire, near Weathered Barn Corner. The Saturn struck a tree or snowbank and came to rest facing the wrong direction. A local school bus driver named Butch Atwood passed by and stopped to help. Atwood later told investigators that Maura appeared shaken, but declined his offer to call emergency services. She reportedly told him she had already called AAA, but her cell phone records indicate no such call was made. Atwood went to his home nearby and called police. When Haverhill police officer Cecil Smith arrived at approximately 7:46 p.m., roughly 7 to 10 minutes after the crash, Maura Murray was gone. The car was locked. Inside, investigators found alcohol, packing materials, and her personal belongings. A rag had been stuffed into the tailpipe, a technique sometimes believed to reduce exhaust visibility. Critically, no footprints leading away from the vehicle were ever reported in the official record. The initial response treated the incident as a routine accident with a driver who had fled the scene, possibly to avoid a potential charge related to the alcohol in the car. But when hours turned into days and Maura did not surface, the case escalated. Massive ground searches were launched across the surrounding wilderness. Helicopters surveyed the area from above. Cadaver dogs were brought in and reportedly showed some interest near a specific area, but no remains were recovered. Investigators examined Maura's phone records, her computer search history, and her email correspondence. The evidence painted a picture of someone who was planning to go somewhere, but where and why remained unclear. Cell tower data was limited. Her phone either lost power or was turned off shortly after the crash, providing no further location data. No activity ever appeared on her bank accounts or credit cards again. The New Hampshire State Police, the FBI, and Maura's family all conducted their own investigations. Fred Murray, her father, spent years pressing for answers, making the case one of the most publicly scrutinized missing persons investigations in New England history. Investigators looked at several persons of interest over the years. A local resident who lived near the crash site drew scrutiny, but no charges were ever filed. A passing motorist was also examined and ultimately not connected to her disappearance through available evidence. One persistent problem was the delay in treating this as a missing persons case rather than a DUI walkaway. Those early hours and days may have been critical. By the time full resources were deployed, whatever trail might have existed had been compromised by weather and time. The question that haunts every investigator is deceptively simple. Where did she go in those 7 minutes? 3 primary theories have persisted. The first, that Maura walked into the woods and succumbed to the elements, is considered plausible by some investigators. Temperatures were brutally cold. She may have been disoriented, but extensive searches with dogs and aircraft found nothing. The White Mountains are vast, but they are not bottomless. The second theory, that she was picked up by someone, willingly or not, cannot be confirmed or eliminated. No witness has ever come forward claiming to have given her a ride. No vehicle was captured on any surveillance system. The third theory, that Maura planned to start a new life and disappeared voluntarily, is supported by some of her pre-departure behavior, the packed car, the false emails. But against it stands the total absence of any financial activity, any sighting, any digital footprint for over 20 years. What is fact versus speculation? We know she packed her car. We know she lied about a family death. We know she crashed. We know she refused help. We know she vanished. Everything beyond those facts is theory. The case of Maura Murray remains officially open. The New Hampshire Attorney General's Cold Case Unit continues to investigate. Her case has generated documentaries, books, podcasts, and one of the most active online communities in true crime history. Fred Murray never stopped searching for his daughter. The family has publicly stated they believe foul play was involved, though investigators have never confirmed this. 20 years. No body, no confession, no credible sighting. The Maura Murray disappearance endures because it asks a question no one can answer. How does someone vanish between one moment and the next, on a road with neighbors watching? Next time on Vanished, a Massachusetts mother goes missing from her own home in 1961, leaving behind a trail of blood and an open book on the kitchen table. The disappearance of Joan Risch. Subscribe. We investigate a new cold case multiple times a week.